This is a game changer. Ryan Crookham, Lehigh's 133-pounder, the man many people felt was the favorite to win 133 pounds this year, is out for the year with injury. And this was a long discussed, wondered about situation with Ryan, who, going back to 2024, November, December, I can't recall which time period, it comes out, hey, Crookham's got a serious injury. It's not clear if he's going to be done, if he's going to continue to wrestle. And Lehigh kicked this thing down all the way to this week before Ryan finally announced, hey, I am going to be out for the year. Sounds like he made steps and he attempted to come back, but wasn't able to do so. Either way, that's sort of a secondary story now to now a weight 133 pounds that has totally changed, right? You have Ryan Crookham, who, and why is he a favorite? Well, this is a guy that had 2 wins last year against Vito Arujau, and his only loss came to Vito Arujau at NCAA. So he was 2-1 against Vito. No one else beat him last year. He had not lost at all this year. He had beaten Braden Davis of Penn State. That was kind of his signature win on the year. But to be fair, a very limited schedule for Ryan Crookham. But nothing to suggest he wasn't that same guy. And to be honest, he was a big favorite over this field. And now the field is all that's left. And you're looking at number 1, Iowa's Drake Ayala. Number 2, Lucas Bird. You got Evan Frost, Braden Davis of Penn State, Tyler Knox from Stanford, Nasir Bailey, Romney, Braxton Brown, Buzakis, a bunch of others. And I'm going to get into just the kind of chaos that is left behind in this weight class that really has had a lot of results that are sort of inconsistent, right? You've got even look no further than number 1, Drake Ayala. He's been amazing this year, but he lost to number 5, Tyler Knox of Stanford to start the year. So no one is without blemish. Bird has been really good, but he lost to Drake Ayala. Frost is ranked 3rd, but he has a loss to Romney. He has a loss to Drake. Braden Davis also has lost to Bird, Van D, as well as Crookham. So all these guys are very, very, I don't want to say they're all inconsistent, but the results make it so you can't paint a clear picture. Even someone like Seth Romney, this guy won Vegas. He beat Evan Frost in the finals. He had a bunch of good wins. He's fallen off the last couple weeks or so. He had a loss to Markel Baker. He lost to Nasir Bailey, who he had pinned earlier this year. He has a loss to Tyler Knox as well. And then you have Nasir Bailey, someone who, if you were looking for a non-Crookham NCAA champion pick, pretty much everyone was picking Nasir Bailey. He was a true freshman last year. He lost relatively closely to Ryan Crookham. He, has this incredible offense from the top position, these great tilts. He can score. He's hard to get to. Just really the complete package. And then to start the year, Nasir Bailey was not, seemed like the same guy. He lost to Lucas Bird. He does this weird thing where he goes in 1-0 matches, he'll go neutral in the 3rd and kind of not attack and just lose 1-0. He did that to both Braden Davis and Lucas Bird this year. It was really sort of a confusing thing because the ability's there. And then you've got, but he's also, who else has he lost to? He lost to Davis, he lost to Romney, he lost to Blake Borman. Totally out of nowhere. So Nasir Bailey's really good, but then, those results are just the facts. Those are things that happen. But now Nasir feels like he's coming on. He avenged his loss to Seth Romney, and we're going to get to watch him at the Pac-12s along with Romney. Those two are going to wrestle again. Very likely they're seeded to wrestle in the finals of the Pac-12s going down this Thursday. So that's a huge one for 133. And Tyler Knox is another guy who had a great start to his season. He beat Seth Romney and Drake Ayala to get it going. He went to Vegas. He lost to Frost. He was majored by Buzakis. But then he goes and wins Midlands. And you're like, all right, man, this guy's for real. But since that time, taken a couple losses, lost to Oakley of UNC, as well as others. So what's my point here? My point is this weight is now totally insane. I think on paper, Drake Ayala is a rightful favorite. But he's already shown this year he can be knocked off. I think he's going to struggle in certain scramble situations. But I think from a leg attack standpoint, he's got one of the most trustworthy offenses in the game. That's why he's going to be a lot of people's pick to win 133 pounds. But you've got, I listed a bunch of maybe who would be considered the contenders. But then you go maybe a level deeper, at least as far as rankings are concerned. And there's some really tough guys in here. You got Braxton Brown from Maryland. Extremely tough out. Very tough. Very physical. You've got Nick Bouzakis, who has beaten many of the better guys. He almost beat Braden Davis. Has a win over who did he beat? He beat Van D, I believe. He's been solid. You've got Connor McGonigal, who just beat Tyler Knox. You've got Dylan Chauver, who was the Big Ten champ last year. These are all guys that loom. You got Oakley, who I've mentioned. So 133 went from sort of like Crookham and then a group of tough guys to now just a bunch of really tough guys are left. And I'm curious how the conference weekend, are we going to get a little stability at 133 pounds out of conferences? Is Drake Ayala just going to show up and say, hey, no, this is my weight. I'm going to win Big Tens. I'm going to win NCAAs. Or you look at the Big Ten at 133. It's got number one Drake. It's got number two Lucas Bird. It's got Braden Davis, who's a true freshman Big Ten champ last year. You've got the reigning Big Ten champ at 133, Dylan Chauver. You've got Braxton Brown from Maryland. You've got Nick Bouzakis. You've got Jacob Van D. I mean, this 133 at the Big Ten is really stacked. I mean, most Big Ten weights are stacked, but 33 might be a cut above, especially it seems unrelated to Crookham, but when you consider the national champion may very well come from this field, it's pretty interesting. So huge news in wrestling. Obviously, we wish Ryan Crookham well. Hope he heals up and we see him back on the mat soon. But for right now, 133 just got a lot more interesting with Ryan Crookham out for the year. What do you think? Who are the favorites to win 133 pounds?